Hello, everybody. It's Justin, and it's time for our Thursday Q&A. As it's 1 o'clock, we try to bang out 30 minutes with exciting guests. And today, we're really excited to have on Brad Grant. Brad is the CCO at Response Generators, a company helping businesses scale smarter using AI, content. Oh, excuse me, content strategy and behavioral insight. I'm just going to take a sip. I'm choking on whatever I ate 20 minutes ago, apparently. He's also an executive coach, which I think is pretty cool, with over 20 years experience building and growing businesses across multiple industries. We're going to talk a little bit maybe about AI and some business leadership stuff today. Apparently there's a new tool, GENSEN, making it easier to create high impact content. That's something everyone wants to know about. Maybe you
Sure.
have some insight into that. But Brad, thanks for coming. Appreciate you being a last minute guest. We had a bit of I don't know what happened. We suddenly had nobody, and then Brad stepped up to the plate. So thanks for coming.
Well, Justin, thanks for having me on. It's a real pleasure. And it's a testament to the group which we're connected with and how this kind of came to be, right?
Fair.
It's such a powerful group, and everyone you meet through it is a good person. So yeah,
You know what? There's okay. Social media, blessing and curse, right? The curse that a lot of people talk about, some of the, infatuations and living up to standards that aren't real and, misinformation spreading and all kinds of things. The blessing, you find groups like that. I'll call it what it is. It's the Burlington Dads Facebook group. If you're a
yeah,
dad, you live in Burlington and the surrounding areas, you want to be a part of it, look it up, sign yourself up.
do
And
yourself a favor.
yeah,
Yeah.
do yourself a favor and sign yourself up. These guys have raised, I say these guys, I can include all of us in this. All of
Absolutely.
us have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for amazing charities locally. This isn't meant to be a Burlington Dads, promo,
No, no, for sure. But
but
it's worth
but
it's worth noting for sure.
it's worth knowing because you end up connecting with people like myself and Brad. We've met for the
Yeah.
first time. We're going to have a chat and see where it goes. Tell me a little bit about like where, so you now are the CCO of this company that does AI. So
Mhm.
obviously AI is the latest and greatest trend in tech right now. Everyone's talking about AI, but
Yeah.
how does one go from whatever you were doing and what does your path look like to get to now we've got an AI company?
My path. My path has been a journey, let's just say. So to touch on, for instance, the coaching, I'm probably one of the oldest in my family of our cousins. Me and my sister are the oldest. And so 10, 15 years between some of my cousins. And I remember when they were in their early 20s asking me, like, oh, I don't know what to do, what I'm going to do. Well, for me, I found coaching at 35. And once I found it, I was like, oh, like this is what I'm supposed to do. But I had to be 35. And even then I was young, and so it's like this journey I've just been following, kind of turning over stones, right? And
Mm,
my heart and trying to help people. That's been the whole goal. But yeah, so it's with specifically our company Response Generator. So we're a marketing company that's been around for 30 years,
right.
but obviously, to your point, AI has emerged.
Mm,
And my business partner, Chris, is brilliant, brilliant man, but an AI engineer. And kind of in the background to serve our clients, he was working, well, to make our lives easier, was working on this little machine, which we've called GENSEN,
okay,
which
cool.
is an AI marketing and content generation, basically tool. Um, and so our business is kind of making a little metamorphosis. So we've been a digital marketing company and paper marketing company when it first
I
started.
was just gonna say there's got to be a wicked shift from what was to what
Yeah,
is now.
yeah. It used to be mailers, right? And you'd
Yeah,
get something in the mail, and that's
yeah.
how you promote your business, or the white pages, the yellow pages,
Mhm.
which is then turned to online digital marketing strategies. And Jensen's really a complement to that. But yeah, how I found myself here is just by kind of connecting with great people. And I joined the company early this year. And yeah, what's emerging, and it's still we're doing a soft launch right now. So we're still kind of putting all the dotting the I's, crossing the T's. The product itself, Jensen, the content creation, the brain is perfect. It's good to go.
Mhm.
But we just have to make it look pretty and make it
Mm,
user friendly, right? And
got it.
creating a client portal and that sort of thing. So we're excited. We're going to be launching in September. And yeah, it's a pretty wild journey to be on the forefront of this.
Where do you so what industries are you working with right now in that sense? Because I mean, there
Yeah.
seems to be new AIs popping up for specific industries all over the place. Like if you're a realtor, you can use this AI for this, and you know if you're a bar, you can use this AI for this. Like where what are you focusing on?
Well, I think you bring up a good point. And for me, I am not the AI expert in our company. That is my partner. So in a sense, I can kind of I see it through both lenses.
Right,
I can understand the technical side of it now, but I also see it as a layman who is just a person who's being told, oh, there's all these tools you can use, and here's 100 prompts.
right.
And I think the way I've distilled AI for myself is kind of the concept of you can build a swimming pool with a shovel. Like you can dig it with a shovel, right? It's going to take you some time and some effort, or you can use a backhoe. And
Mm,
so AI is the backhoe, if you will. It's this machine that basically makes us much more productive with far less input,
hmm
whatever we're doing in this context of construction. So but here's where the challenge is what I think is a lot is missing in the dialogue is so if I'm digging a pool, sure, that's great with a shovel, but say someone drops off a backhoe, it doesn't mean I know how to work it. I can
Yeah,
s-
that's
I'll
right.
I'll move earth, I'll make a mess,
Yeah,
but I don't, you have to learn how to operate it, right? And
perfect. Yep.
kind of what I think is the learning edge for people is understanding how to operate AI and not be overwhelmed by it because it's not here to I think to replace everyone's job. It's
Well,
not.
I'll tell you what's interesting in our industry is I think we can all see where AI is being used most effectively. And I think there's a lot of, for example, listing descriptions that are being used for AI, right? So you're typing in, you know, write me a description for a 3+2 bedroom house, blah, 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 blah. But I think where people are falling short, to your point, is, you know, they don't understand the nuances of what needs to really be done to make it effective. And it's just spitting out the same stuff for
Yeah,
everybody, the same boring bullshit for everybody.
yeah. It's very vanilla.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
not
kind of
that smart.
interesting because I had a we have a client that was looking through listings the other day, and she said, I was looking through listings, reading descriptions and just scrolling through, and I found one and I thought I liked it, and I went down to the description, I was reading it, and I went, gosh, I think that sounds a lot like Justin. And she scrolled down further, and sure enough, it was my listing.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
so the point is I think what we've tried to get, and this is, I'm again, we're not trying to toot my horn here, but what we've tried to do is like really dial in who I am to put that into the writing that the AI uses,
Absolutely.
right? But it takes so much time and effort and learning between myself and the AI trying to get the right prompts in there. The
Absolutely.
trial and error is ridiculous. It's taken us a year to figure it out, at least.
And it's a worthy investment, right? Because it does become
Sure.
such a powerful tool and it's learned your brand voice. And there's
Mm.
with communications and communication strategies, that's so important. And that's kind of what we've built into what Jensen does. So just a kind of high level overview. So basically for businesses when we're communicating today, there's two distinct readers that we have to appease. We of course have our target markets and potential, new clients, whatnot. But then we have to feed Google. So
Mm.
Google's kind of the landlord, and
hmm
content is the rent. And so if you're not producing new content, that's okay. You're not going to get kicked off the internet,
That
but
is a really great analogy. I love that.
you're not going to get up to those
Yeah.
rankings. Like the only
Yeah.
way to get on page one is through consistent content.
hmm
And it's kind of like I was thinking about this earlier. It's kind of like the gym. Everyone's like, how do I get in shape? And it's like you show up every day and you just do it. You lift heavy if you can or whatever, but it's consistency.
Mm.
And so Google, as it's parsing the internet and mapping the internet over and over and visiting everyone's website, if they're not if there's nothing new for it to index for it to eat up, then it doesn't register your business as very active in a sense. And so with when it comes to SEO and everything, it's obviously a lot of people get overwhelmed by it.
It
It's
is, yeah,
it's a weird it's not a science, and a lot of people claim it is, but it can't be because Google's changing the rules all the time
all the time. Yeah,
of how they
even
do it.
Facebook changes their algorithms consistently
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. And the point with content is none of us really have the time to do it. Like, you're a real estate agent. You don't get paid to produce content, right? But you have to. So that's time that you're investing into your business, which is a good investment. I'm not, of course. But with Jensen, the whole idea is let's hop in the machine, let it do 95, 8% of the heavy lifting. And with response generators in Jensen, we're very much kind of human in the loop. So it's
Mm,
not about letting it do all, like, never just post whatever it produces. Like,
mm,
it's a refined machine. It has a very sophisticated process, the way in which it executes what it does versus just going to ChatGPT. Like, if
mm.
when we've done this a million times, prompt them both with the same thing, and you don't get nearly the same output.
No, of course. So obviously you said you were newer to the company, but
Mm,
obviously there's been several transitions through paper, digital, AI, different things.
mhm.
What's it like taking a company that's built for one thing and having to shift it into something completely different altogether? Like that must just be insane because like that if there's one industry that's had to really shift, like even in real estate,
Yeah,
the fundamentals of real estate are the same. We use those tools to help us, but it
yeah,
hasn't really shifted the fundamentals of how we buy and sell real estate, right? Pricing drives everything, yada, yada. Your fundamental business model has changed multiple times within the marketing standpoint. What does that feel like as a company to go, okay, guys, hang on, stop what you're doing.
yeah,
Now we're going to do this.
for sure. And not only having to do that internally, but then educating the market as you go,
Right, right.
because there's people, it's kind of on the leading edge. This is this kind of industry.
Mm.
Um, so for
I just
me,
have like this Don Draper sort of sense about you. Like just that's what's going on in the background. Like,
I'll take it.
okay, guys. Sorry, I had to say it.
No, no, that's a great show. I'll take it. But you know what, to be honest with you, and something I've learned very personally through, especially through my coaching journey, and I say that as someone who has used coaching tool as much as I've shared it. So I've used it for myself in my life, and I think it's just actually very representative of what life is. Like, a lot of something I've learned is this, I'll call it the non-permanence of life.
Mm,
We all have this false kind of sense of security that everything's normal, everything's good, but everything is changing. It's entropy, right? Everything's always changing and
mhm,
evolving, including us as people.
mhm,
So that's kind of helped the journey for sure, having that kind of perspective to be it's really comes down to getting comfortable being uncomfortable, and that applies with leadership, with anything, with if you want to live your life to the fullest, you're gonna
mm.
gotta go into the kind of the dark, right?
There was a time in society as a whole, like on this planet, when technology was evolving so slowly, and that's not a bad thing. It was just
Yeah,
evolving at a much slower
yeah,
rate that
yeah,
you could be comfortable sitting in your lane of your whatever you were doing for
totally,
many years. And it's
totally.
funny because I was driving around the other day and I noticed a couple of stores that aren't there anymore that used to be there,
Yeah,
or whatever they were, I don't remember, and now they're gone.
yeah.
And but if you drive through small town Ontario or anywhere, you'll see old stores that were there 50, 60 years ago
Yeah.
that no longer exist, but they just closed down 10 years ago. Like, so it's like,
Yeah.
the lifespan of businesses shifts a lot in a very short period of time. And
And
if
to
you're
your
not making those changes, you're genuinely falling behind and you're doing something detrimental to your business.
well, and just to build on what you're saying, I absolutely agree. Like, I don't know, I'm 46. So, even my parents' generation lived what, like, my dad worked at Stelco, and they had a very kind of, they were almost probably one of the last generations, where the generation I'm in, and we're living in now, it's so dynamic and
So
things are
dynamic. Yeah.
happening at leaps, not by steps. And
Hmm.
we're all just trying to live our best life and be good people and love the ones we love. But all this chaos, and of course with the US, and it's just one of these, this is what we're living in now, and you have to be dynamic,
Yeah, you're always shifting, you're always moving,
yeah.
keeping your head above board. Someone said to me once, if you're not the lead dog, the view never changes. And
Yeah,
I was like, I think
yeah.
that's actually on the back of Joe Dog's
Oh, nice.
t-shirts that they sell, to be honest.
Love that
So,
place.
and so what I love about that though is being the lead dog in some of the changes that come about, right? So I remember back in the day, for example, when we went to California to a real estate conference, and we came back and we decided to start using virtual tours, which were
Right.
not a thing, and QR codes, which were not a thing.
Yeah, your
QR
industry's
codes didn't
changed a
really
lot
become
too.
popular until COVID, right? And my mom was
It's
using them
true.
15,
Wow.
20 years ago.
No way.
Yeah, man, I'm serious. So
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 this
we
is
were
a
hanging
family
them on
business.
signs. What's
You
that?
got it's a family business.
Yeah, so I work with my mom. We're partners
Me.
now. I started with her working on her team, went
Yeah.
off on my own for a bit, and then came back to work with her in order to help her.
Oh, amazing.
She's in her I don't even want to say, she's gonna get mad at me for saying it, but she's looking at retiring at some point soon, I hope.
Yeah.
And in
Good for
doing
her.
so, wanted me to come along and help her just sort of ride off into the sunset and those things. It's gonna take a few years for her to do that because she won't stop working. But what I loved
Well,
was she was constantly innovating with what technology was doing all the time and trying
yeah,
to be on the forefront of that. And that
absolutely.
was
And
very interesting.
that's the powerful entrepreneur right there, because she gets it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it's you're either changing, there's a line in a song I love by Pearl Jam. You can't be neutral on a moving train. So
Oh, that's amazing. I
yeah,
don't even
right.
know. I didn't even know that line existed. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool kind of perspective because time's moving, everything's moving, but you
Yeah.
can't, you can't
Yeah.
be
You stand up for 1 second, and even in your sitting, your body's moving
yeah,
around, right? So that's hilarious.
absolutely.
That's really excellent. I love it.
How have you found the changes adapting in your market? Like, has it been challenging or?
Well, I think the biggest thing right now is understanding that. So the market's going to be the market. That's one
Yeah,
thing as a whole. I mean, we can't control it. I think I'm just trying to really just educate people on what is going on a regular basis, because that's all I can do. I can provide my professional perspective to people to allow them to understand what we feel is happening. And if you look at how that works, the reality is that video is the best way to come across. From a marketing perspective, I think you probably would agree with me. Like hammering video out there to have people understand who I am, how I say things. Text is good, but we feel like it's become a thing of the past. We've got a great mentor that teaches us a lot of our marketing stuff, and she's been big on like when I started with her 6 years ago, she used to say 50% of your content should be video, and now she's like over 90% of your content should be video now.
yeah,
And so again, like talk about shifting. I got on a call with an agent the other day who's a wonderful agent out of our office who was asking for help on a high-end marketing thing for one of her listings. She spent all this money, she wasn't getting results. And so I put my hand up to give her some help and give her some some support.
nice.
And I told her, I said, go do a video, go do a really good video.
Yeah.
I said, grab chat GPT or whatever AI you want for scripting for it to make it really, really good. Because when you have a script, you're not just making it up as you go. You're more
Yeah.
confident in it because you've got the script. You're falling back. Like, take away all the barriers for you being on video. And she's like, I just hate being on video.
Well, and I think this is what you're touching on, I think is so pertinent. And I'm speculating, I'm not an expert in anything in this, but I think we're all looking for a bit of human connection again.
Right.
Like we grew up with it, right? We grew up pre-internet. It was it was all human connection, or you're in your room, whatever,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
There was no other alternative. And now we've all kind of gone, we're all looking down, like you go to a concert and all you see is like everyone's
Phones.
recording it. It's like, what are we doing? Like, just enjoy
Yeah.
the concert. And I
Yeah.
get you're capturing a memory, but you're kind of missing the point. Like, someone else is going to capture it for you. You'll be able to find it on YouTube the next
I
day.
was just going to say that memory is going to be here forever. And how you remember it is this or
Yeah.
this? You know what I mean? Like, what are we
Yeah, and then you
doing?
have to rewatch your own video to remember what it was like because you didn't
My
enjoy
my
it at the
my
time.
son and his girlfriend went to the Coldplay concert, and we drove him out there and dropped him off.
Oh, I heard it was a
And so on the we left them there. When I went home and I picked up my wife, we drove out just for a nice drive and just to hang out. And we had
yeah.
coffee and sat outside on a side road and watched the concert from a live video on TikTok
Are you
in my car.
serious?
In my car, watched the fireworks going off over there as it went off, and watched the lights flashing from outside the stadium. But we watched the entire concert from my car, not the entire concert, like the last 40 minutes, let's say, from my car in on TikTok. So
On
someone is sitting there recording live, and I
yeah.
don't.
And I mean, that might be a good hack if you don't have
There you
$1,000
go.
to see
Yeah,
Coldplay.
totally.
Drive close to it and watch it on
Yeah,
TikTok.
for sure, for sure. We didn't
It's
pay for that. It
fascinating.
was fun.
But yeah, no, I fully agree. But I think a lot of people are also, and I put myself in this category. I don't really know I don't, you're afraid to be seen, right? And we shouldn't be because we're alive. We're born, you've punched your ticket and you're worthy. We're all trying to help each other, right? Most of us. Obviously, there's some bad actors, um, but that can be a tough one to overcome for sure. Just like, what do I say? And it's easy to kind of parse it off as like, oh, I just don't know what to say. But to your point, chat GPT it, right? Like it'll produce content like that. But it's comes down to that, like, am I am I willing to be seen? And
Right.
it's
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is, you know, just putting your this is all your there's no other humans around.
totally,
It's just this.
yeah,
So like have this sitting there and talk into it. You see your own face in it because it's looking back at you and do your thing. The hard part is pressing enter on sending it out to the world,
for sure, for sure.
you
It's
know.
um it's a funny thing, right? But it's so valuable. And actually, I'll tell you, Google is obviously getting more and more sophisticated in terms of how it's parsing and understanding the information on the internet.
Mm,
So it gives far more value to you holding your phone, recording yourself, or taking a picture, or taking a picture of the house you're selling as opposed to a Google Street image. It knows the
mm,
difference. And it knows if you've taken that picture yourself, it values it higher, it ranks it higher. So it's kind of almost inviting us to be a little more intimate with
mm.
each other through these, as opposed to using whether it's AI generated photos for our posts or just something you find stock image, whatever. Um, I think it's a great opportunity for people to put more of themselves into.
And it's interesting because I feel like it seems like content is becoming more and more casual that way.
Yeah.
Like even think about how TV and movies have become like our kids don't even watch TV anymore. They watch
I
YouTube.
know. I know. Me too.
So, right? I mean, but that's the point. Like like I watch I actually have a thing for old movies. Like so I just watched The Rainmaker. I just like I like watching
Nice. Nice.
and so but like when I see what my kids watch, it's like all YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's all just these kids on the street or whatever with their phones out doing their thing and okay, they have editing involved, but
Yeah.
that's the trend now is a lot more of a casual feel to the
Yeah.
content we're consuming.
Yeah.
So almost trying to make it too professional is almost not drawing people in as much.
It's true. And I mean, it depends on your industry, the market, what your
Mm,
goals are, right?
sure, sure.
For someone like yourself, like you want to be omnipresent,
Mm,
because I'm not always going to sell a house, but when I am in that mind frame or, oh, I've got to sell my house, then if I've seen your stuff, it's like, right, Justin, it's my guy.
mhm,
Um, and so yeah, it's you definitely, and that's where we kind of like, AI precision with human values, like let it do most of the heavy lifting for you.
mm,
And and just to communicate what Jensen actually does. So Jensen, one bundle, if you will. So what it does is produces a 2,000 to 5,000 word blog article for your website. And that's like a 10-minute read. Most people are not going to read that.
mm,
That's not who it's for. It's actually
mhm.
for Google. So
That's
that's
right.
that
Yep.
feeds the Google machine so that your rankings are consistent. Um, but it's broken down into 10 to 12 sections that you can share. Each section is
Mm,
words, so you can put a LinkedIn post, or your team can share different parts of it. So your comm strategy is unified, but it's diverse and it's not the exact same thing through every channel.
mm-hmm.
So what GENSEN does is produces that one blog article and then breaks it down into, depending on what you select, 20 to 30 different posts. So we
Wow.
get 3 Facebook posts, 3 LinkedIn, actually 6 LinkedIn posts, 3 personal, 3 business, 3 Instagram posts, to a YouTube long script, a YouTube short script,
That's
uh,
amazing.
3 promotional emails, 5 Quora Q&A questions.
Just off of one
Yeah,
like one blog article.
one bundle. Yeah. So
Wow.
it kind of unifies your whole communication strategy. And again, it's not to do it for you. It's not a set it and forget it. It is definitely, you want to get eyes on it. You want to, make sure everything looks good. But I mean, in the blog article includes tables, citations, it indexes everything. And again, we're just trying to kind of build a machine to help people save time, because content is the rent right now
It
in
is.
the world. And it's, even Gary Vaynerchuk was saying, it's the most important kind of thing. So how do we help people do that, and while speaking through their voice? So GENSEN learns your voice, so you don't have to train it. I don't know why I said he. It's definitely not a man or a
It.
woman. For sure. um I guess the little logo's a dude, but whatever. But yeah, but so, right, how do we reach the people we want to reach, and attract the attention we need to drive
Mm,
our businesses and to serve our clients?
mm. No, it's genuinely on the forefront of everything we're doing right now as a whole. And I
Yeah,
think this sort of thing removes the excuses.
yeah, yeah.
Like I don't have time. Oh, no, you do have time.
And the same thing when it comes to writing a blog post. It's kind of like your friend, wow, I don't, posting. It's like, well, what am I going to write about? And oh, is that good? And you use ChatGPT, and it takes time. There's no doubt. And not to say you can't produce good content. Of course you can. But if you can use a machine that writes in your voice and creates topical maps so that you have an entire year of your comm strategy
Mm.
laid out.
So the key for me has always been, and I'm sure it drives across all businesses, is any question your customer has ever asked you about anything in business whatsoever. Whenever we get like a question that we've
Yeah,
not heard before, or any question, I tend to text my wife and go, "Ooh, content," and I send it to her, and we
absolutely.
have that now set down because those questions are that one client isn't the only person thinking those things.
Absolutely. And you've covered off most of the other ones, but there's one to, right, you put
Yeah,
into your toolkit,
yeah.
because yeah, and your clients and your prospects will teach you these things too, right? Which is,
That's it. You just key off of what and that's the other thing too, is niching down is so important, right?
yeah,
So you have a certain clientele, you have a certain, niche client that you want to market to. Well, do some market research.
right. And it's so easy today.
Hey, Jensen or ChatGPT, create
ChatGPT,
me
yeah.
a list of questions I can do market research with to be able to da 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 da.
And actually, I'm going to share. We have a couple resources I'll share with you for your
Cool.
listeners or your
Yeah, we
network.
can put it in the comments below for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, it's some prompts, and it's not like, oh, here's a list of 100 prompts. Like, no, it's going to inform people. They're not only specific, so they're actually kind of specific for certain things, but it's also the framework
Right.
that can be emulated and copied, and it's changing the topic here and the problem here, but it really kind of helps frame for people in a sense, like, oh, like, I don't just ask it to write me an email. It's like, I want I tell it that I want you to be a copywriter level professional, like you, and you
Mhm.
tell it, you know what I mean? It kind of informs it. But
Yeah, and I've learned the same a little bit too. When I do scripts, I've learned to kind of edit it so ahead of time. So I used
yeah,
to get a lot of video prompts in my scripts, and I was like, I don't want those because I'm trying to put them in a teleprompter sometimes.
yeah,
And it's like I don't need all those video prompts that say wide shot of blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want that. So little things like that that you don't realize. You can tell it, hey, remove all the video prompts, please. And
Absolutely.
it goes, and it just leaves you with the script. It's great, you know.
Absolutely.
So
Kind of
there's
like a
too
dog,
much.
like AI is kind of like a dog where it
Yeah.
just wants to help you and serve you and just looks at you and it's like, I'll do my best, right? But it's not
Yeah.
smart. It really isn't that smart yet. It
It's
seems
so funny how it's not smart, but it is.
that's the
You know
dichotomy.
what I mean?
Like, yes, it's how is that okay? But
Yeah.
okay, look at what you just produced, a
Yeah.
whole business plan if you wanted to, for instance. So,
So Jensen, I keep saying Jensen, but
oh,
Jensen
that's okay.
sounds a lot like something that's going to eventually be the army that takes over the world of humans. I'm a little concerned now, is all I'm saying. Just because it's that could be the movie villain, Jensen, right? Is all I'm saying. I'm just
No, 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 not at all. What it really is it again, it's not. So AI is going to displace some people's roles. There's no
sure.
doubt about it. I mean, there's been over the course of my life, there's been industries that have gone away, right? Like things like we were talking about earlier, non-permanence, everything's
Mhm.
changing. So using the shovel and the right swimming pool, you could, 15 guys with shovels will dig a pool in, I don't know, a day or two, whatever it is, but one machine and one
One
operator
qualified guy on a machine could do it
does
in a
it in
day.
4, yeah,
Yeah.
right? And so you have less people in that way, but you're amplifying your output.
Yeah.
And so it's not even, and I think people really have an opportunity to become an operator. Like educate yourself on how to use this tool, and there's resources. Ask us, we'll help you. Like anyone, we all we want to do is help, but make yourself more valuable to your company or to your employer or to your business, like leverage the tools that are emerging, and they are new, and there's so much information and it changes seemingly daily, so it can be overwhelming for sure. But one of my favorite sayings is you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. So
And it's
take the
funny
time.
because more and more when you're going through problems, the question is no longer, what do we do? Or Google it.
Yeah,
It's let's
yeah,
ask AI.
yeah.
And I know
People
AI
are
is a good form of, or Google is a form of AI and has AI built into it anyway as well. And it's getting better and better. But like
no, you're right. People aren't going to google.ca anymore. They're going to
Chat GPT and
ChatGPT.
yeah, and
Yeah,
they're AIing their issues.
totally. Totally. It's
AI
fascinating.
therapy.
People are using it as coaching. I mean,
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
you don't get the human element, and I'm not saying I've never tested it, so I definitely don't think it compares to an actual coach. But when you look at the cost, and right, like it's for what you're paying for it, which is a free version, unless you're paying 20 whatever bucks a month for it. It's
My
pretty good.
friend who's in a similar industry and has he's also a Burlington dad, Chris Harrington, and he's working on some things. And he said something to me one day. He goes, "Yeah, I'll use it to, like, I'll tell it to give me a motivational speech in the form of Gary Vaynerchuk or
Absolutely.
Marcus Aurelius or whatever. Like, just tell
Yeah.
me about this in this guy's voice and with this guy's history."
Yeah.
And it parses all the data from whatever that is and pulls out a response based on Marcus Aurelius
In
or
that voice.
AFK in that voice or whatever. Like, there you go. You got what you want. It's like that is what you're almost bringing back to life people that aren't even here anymore.
Absolutely. And depending on your field, like you might want to talk like the expert of your field. I'm just trying to think quickly of a real estate mogul, like nothing's coming to mind, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not that you'd want to talk like that. You have,
Donald Trump.
oh,
Just kidding.
yeah,
Sorry. Sorry.
he's the
Sorry. I
greatest,
apologize.
greatest real estate person ever. Um, anyway, sorry.
Sorry. That
Um,
just derailed everything. I apologize. That's
no, no, that's all good. But yeah, no, it's actually fascinating
yeah.
how
That's
it's
cool. Well, listen, I think what we're going to do is we're going to throw a bunch of links in the comments below to how to get a hold of Jensen and how to figure that out and whatever. And
perfect.
if you send me those assets, I'll put them
Yeah,
in the chat as well. Andrea will
absolutely.
we'll put them in the chat. But this has been a really fun conversation. I really appreciate anybody has any questions about AI and the future of AI, and what Jensen is. And if you are looking for some form of business coaching, maybe reach out to
Absolutely.
Brad and see what he's got to offer, because he is, from what I can tell, incredibly intelligent and very fun. I've enjoyed this conversation.
I have too, man. Thanks so much for having me
I
on. It's been a
appreciate
great
you.
chat.
We'll shut it down and say goodbye and have a
For
wonderful one.
sure.
And we'll see you next week.
Good to see you, man.
See ya.
Take care.